Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, August 25th, 2019. The impacts for the next couple of days include some gusty winds and low relative humidities over southern and eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, and across portions of northern and northeast Utah for today. After today, the winds lighten up a bit and we don't have any impacts on Monday. But then as we go into Tuesday, we're expecting a pretty quick shot of some monsoon moisture to move up into the central portions of the Great Basin. On Tuesday, we're really only looking for some late evening isolated thunderstorms across the far southern tip of the Great Basin, and these are going to be probably starting after dark. The better chance for some isolated thunderstorms will come on Wednesday. The past 24 hours were sunny and dry across the geographic area. And we continue to have light initial attack. Looks like most of the fires from yesterday occurred over Utah, with one larger fire there in western Nevada. ERCs continue to be elevated over Utah and up into southeast Idaho and eastern Nevada, where those values are above the 80th percentile, and some stations are coming in between the 90th and 96th percentile. Taking a closer look at where these values sit compared to average, over northwest Utah, the values are above average for the time of year, sitting about where we were this time last year, but not quite up to the historical records for the time of year. Over southwest Utah, however, we are setting records for high ERCs for the end of August, and we're actually seeing some of the highest values they've seen down in southwest Utah all year. This morning's satellite imagery shows continued dry conditions persisting across the western U.S. with the high pressure located over California and into the southwest. This will allow warm, dry conditions to persist across the geographic area. We do see this long wave trough in place over the Pacific Northwest and up into the northern Rockies. That's what's creating the higher winds in place over eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, and across northern Utah and northeast Nevada. And so for later this afternoon, we can see those gusty winds moving into the northern half of the geographic area, and we do have high risk issued for southeast Idaho, western Wyoming, northeast Nevada, and northern Utah. Taking a closer look at where we're expecting those highest winds, the strongest winds are going to be over eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, with gusts up to 40 to 45 miles an hour possible, and also possibly over the Uintas and into Basin of Utah there. Relative humidities are in the teens, low teens across much of the geographic area for today. The winds lighten up on Monday with continued dry conditions across the geographic area. Again, looking for generally lighter winds with maybe just a few gusty winds continuing over eastern Utah, and relative humidities remain in the low teens. On Tuesday, we begin to see the ridge strengthen and move further northward just a bit. This will allow some monsoon moisture to return into very far southern portions of the Great Basin on Tuesday, but for the most part, warming and drying across the geographic area. Winds remain fairly light on Tuesday, with continued low relative humidities across the area, and we're even seeing some single digits move into some portions of Utah and Nevada. The 3-day precipitation totals show pretty much nothing for the geographic area, as we're not expecting any precip through Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, however, a little bit more moisture will make its way up into the geographic area. Mainly here we're looking at southern Nevada and southern Utah. We'll keep an eye on this moisture and be able to pin down exact locations and timing as we draw closer to the event, but for right now we're just highlighting portions of the southern Great Basin for some isolated dry thunderstorms on Wednesday. That moisture moves out pretty quickly. We're not looking for it to really bring any long-term relief to the dry fuels conditions in southern Utah. And so dryness returns to the geographic area by Thursday. And that dry, warm pattern continues into Friday and even into Saturday. So the 7-day precipitation totals are shown here. Again, we're looking at this moisture to be moving through on Wednesday, bringing some isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms across mainly the higher elevations of Utah and possibly up into central Nevada. And we'll again be keeping a close eye on this event to see where those thunderstorms will develop. The extended forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for the first week of September is continuing to show a little bit of that monsoon pattern strengthening across the desert southwest and moving up into the southern Great Basin as well. So we are actually looking for a better chance at possibly some measurable precipitation moving into Utah and Nevada during the first week of September. Temperatures will still remain above normal during that time frame, however. And this concludes our fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.